Good morning, Predicted Trades family. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope we're ready for a fun Friday. Market already shaking and grooving and making moves. Hopefully, some of you swung a little bit of calls. If not, I think we'll still have some good opportunity today. I hope everyone can hear me. Just kind of doing a quick audio visual check. But those 395 calls on SPY that we were hitting yesterday are going to be opening in the money almost. Sound is low here. Let's see if this is a little better. It might just be that I have to use my other mic for prep. Okay, that's better. So weird. All it takes is it's a headset, so adjusting the microphone right in front of my mouth helps a lot, I guess. Hopefully you guys don't hear any loud breathing sounds, but oh, let's see. Let's start with a little review. Yesterday we opened a little below our 39.22, and as you can see where we opened the cash session is basically where we held all morning for the first 3 or 4 30-minute candles. We just held above where we opened on the day. We, kept making pops up and then coming back, but overall held. That's what led to the longs that we called out, those 395s on SPY. ES carried up from that 39.22, getting up to our 39.61 key level. If we look back on the week, we were holding above 39.61 on every drop. We bounced there every drop. So then yesterday we opened way below it, we fight up to it and reject. We played long up to that 39.61. Where we locked in our profits on those 395 puts, and then we played the 395 calls. Then we played the 390 puts back to the bottom of the squeeze and locked them up. Pretty strong bounce end of day, and another chance to load up on those 395 calls. Oh, come on, Toss. Sorry, I'm trying to open up another Toss instance to load up those 395 calls to review. Come on, Toss. All right. Give me a 3-minute. Darn it. There we go. So, those 395 calls yesterday. Open around a buck. They dropped down to our beast zone and tagged it right at 78 cents. They ran up to our open range sell zone and topped out around that 220. Then they came back while we were playing the 390 put, which is over here. We played that 390 put. Sorry, let me change this to a 3-minute as well. There we go. We played that 390 put from its beast level of about 60 cents up to $1.20. So pretty much a double there on those puts. And when those puts were topping out around 315, we were back on the calls coming off of their beast level from 78 cents. Got up near close around $1.60, and where we locked some profit. And if you held some over into today, they're about to be opening in the money. If we take a quick look at SPY, where are you? Yep, those are going to be opening well within the money now. So I just thought I'd do a quick review. We had a free day yesterday, every Thursday, right? And we had a pretty good job in the room, calling out the long, the short back, and then the long to close the day that could, that turned into a swing as well for a number of folks in the room. Overall, looking at the structure on the week, we started the week and kind of set a range from this 39.61 up to that 40.20. It's a little hard to see, but that's where we topped out on Monday. I just point that out because we're about to open right in the middle of that same range. The bottom being that 39.61, the top being that 40.20. So we're opening right in the same range as Monday on an OPEX week, not surprising. That's also what helped lead to going long yesterday. We held this 39.22, which, if you remember, when I started prep this week and even Friday, I talked about after this big push up, if we get back to 39.22, we need to hold. That is still bullish for the rally to continue. That's what we got yesterday. And this rally is continuing. And we're just getting back into our range on the week, on an OPEX week. So I just point all that out to say we need to, have our expectations in line, that it is an OPEX week. We are right back where we started the week. You can see we open pretty much right where we're going to open. So the premise is very much the same. We could stay within that range, Monday's range, right? Closing out the week in the same range as is very typical on an OPEX week. It's been quite a while since we've had an OPEX week that just went sideways and didn't trend. So we've had a, typical OPEX week where we stay within a range. So just want to have our expectations ready. Let's take a quick look at the economic calendar. If I remember correctly, there's not much going on today. Where are you? Come on. There it is. So this morning we just have some home sales and economic indicators at 10 a.m. So do be aware that we have that 10 a.m. data drop. And going into next week, we have a short week with Thursday being Thanksgiving, but we do have Friday expiration on things. So I'm thinking, gotta double check, but maybe just Thursday is the market closed, and then Friday might be back open again. But next week, we just have some durable goods, core capital, initial jobless claims, some PMI data, and some University of Michigan at 10 a.m. on Wednesday. So light week. Oh, and an FOMC on Wednesday too. Really? That's interesting. I'm gonna have to confirm that. But we do at least have a light beginning to the week in economic data. So could be a potential for a rally to continue into next Wednesday. So for today, going to be opening right near our 39.96 4,000 level. We do have a 2-hour squeeze that sits there that we're going to want to keep an eye on, but it is getting nice and thin. Overall, if we can get through 4,000, first stop is to test that 40.20, where we kind of topped out this week before that gap up that we just fell right back to it and then gave it out. If we can get through this 420, obvious targets are getting up to the top of this 4-hour squeeze. That sits around 40.35. This week's high around 40.50. And our zone above, which is 40.56, 40.71.5. The daily 200 has now slowly caught up to being in that zone. And our 2-day and 1-day squeezes have slowly opened up a little bit to now be covering that zone. So if we can get a strong rally today, if buyers are going to step in after this hold all week and that rebound that we had yesterday after a gap down, if buyers are going to try and rally us today, the targets for me are that 4,000, 40.20, and then this zone up above at 40.56, 40.71, get us back to that daily 200 for a tap. On any dips, we definitely need to hold. This 39.61 was the floor all week. It was resistance yesterday, but now we're back above it, so it needs to, again, become support. So if we have a little dip, we definitely want to be watching that 39.80 and 39.61 for support. If we start to break those, then we're back down into these levels from yesterday. That 39.41, 39.22. And should we see selling past that 39.22, it's 3900 and 38.78, where the daily 21 has now caught up to, and that's also the start of our gap from CPI. Overall, we did have a downtrend that was holding us down even yesterday, and now we're getting through it. So as long as we can hold our support, we could see buyers stepping back in to rally up at the end of the week when things are cheaper, and into next week, where we could, rally into Wednesday before all that next economic data hits. And for any of my viewers watching, if you could, maybe look up when that next FOMC meeting is. Just, I'm kind of curious, just since we had it on the saying that it's next Wednesday. Oh wait, this is, next Wednesday. So if any of you watching could confirm that for me, that would be interesting. But I'll move on in queue. Whenever TOS decides to unfreeze itself. Don't do it. There we go. All right, looking at NQ on the week. January, what are you talking about? Richie, what are you on, you goofball? Anyhow, so NQ, back up above the lows from Monday, the range that was set from Monday, we are back inside that, just like we saw for ES. NQ did a good job holding up that daily 8. and bouncing overnight at that 11,600. We are running into some squeeze tops here, pre-market on this push, and we are back above that 11,800. Let's see on a dip if we can hold that 750 at the worst at pre-market low around 650, 675, sorry. We also have our daily 8 stepping up right at that level, right at the bottom of that hourly squeeze. So on any dips, definitely want to see us hold up here and continue back up. If we were to start to break that and that daily 8, we're heading back into yesterday's range. And we have our targets down below at 11,500 where the daily 21 and daily 50 sit. But overall, we were in a downtrend, and now we are breaking through that downtrend, and we have basically our trend lines from where we are bouncing. So on any dip, want to see us hold there and buyers continue to push us. If we can continue the upside, big goal is getting back to that psych level of 12,000. We obviously have to get through this 2-hour squeeze at around 850. But if we can get through that and through 12,000, looking to get up to that 12,100 high of the week. And I believe our daily 200 still sits way, way above, yeah. So let's see if we can hold our trend lines from the lows of yesterday and overnight and continue to press up into this week's highs. Just also be aware that kind of at the top of that 2-hour squeeze was the highs from Friday, from Monday. So we could see some resistance at that 2-hour squeeze top. If we hit a little resistance, have a quick dip to test the highs from yesterday, and then continue the journey upward. Ready. Johnny Whitaker, I'm seeing your question on YouTube. This cloud study, the squeeze cloud that we provide, is in the professor's tool belt. Just one of the studies in that tool belt. There's about 12 tools. Some of them are my options watch list columns, and some go on your equities chart, like these daily moving averages, the squeeze cloud, these daily Keltners. That's all in the tool belt. For a very low cost for a ton of tools that we use every single day. So yesterday the ready got down and held that daily 21. If you remember my prep from yesterday, it was we need to hold that 1820, that daily 21, or else we're coming back to 1800. Did a great job of holding that daily 21 and bouncing. Now we're pressing back up above the daily 8, which we were kind of holding above before that gap down. So on any dips today, would love it to just hold up to that daily 8 and keep trucking back above that daily 21 with the goal of getting back up into this tight range that we were in Friday and Monday. Excuse me, up around 1880 to 1900. I could foresee where we run into this daily 200 and start to come back. If we can hold this daily 8, get through the daily 200, we could keep going. But I could also foresee where we run into this daily 200, come back to this daily 8, and just kind of bounce between all of these stacked moving averages. Let's see if the ready can hold up to its trend line from overnight and keep this journey going. If we start breaking below 1840, 1837, then we're going to retest the 21, yesterday's lows, and we could head back down. The ruddy, kind of not out of the woods yet as far as trend line from highs of this week. So we'd still need to press up to interact with this. So I'm going to just draw a little wedge here. There we go. And mark an alert for each side of that wedge. There we go. Just because the ready, I like to use it as a gauge. Sometimes it can start to make the move first. So just marking the wedge from trend lines from highs, trend lines from lows. We could stay stuck in that today, being an OPEX Friday. But if we can start to break out to the upside, we could see the market make a good move. Not loving that the ready is still, you could say below its trend line from the major highs. We are breaking through trend lines if you connect from here to here. So that's nice, but we still have to get through this 1880. And we could, run into resistance there and just kind of settle back. So YM. So YM definitely holding up and a big part of this drive up. We take a quick look here. ES up almost 1%, and Q as well. Ruddy. YM, okay, actually lagging just a hair. And Ruddy kind of leading. Interesting. Okay. But YM getting back up to this 33,800 and to the top of this 2-hour squeeze. We have our 4-hour squeeze sitting just above, which spans up to that 34,000, kind of where we topped out on the week. So YM, let's see if we can continue this journey above 33,800, make it back to 34,000. If we start to reject some squeeze tops and come back, we'd love to see us hold near yesterday's highs, kind of around this 33,600. We start to lose that, then we're coming back to kind of test the floor and the lows from this week. We have our daily 8 there as well. So if we start to lose that 32,600, coming down to this 500 to test the daily 8, should that give out down to the bottom of the squeeze in this week's lows? But if we can hold up well at that 600, get back above 800, if we have the dip, we could just keep trucking if buyers are going to remain strong. Looking to get up to that 34,000, and any past that, like 34,200, 250. Apple. Apple was a huge tell yesterday. Got down to the squeeze bottom right before open, hit the daily 21, gave it a quick retest at open, and then started to bounce over its open level. That was a great sign to go long. And Apple led to the upside all day yesterday. We really needed Apple to do this for us to have any chance at a rally. And Apple still moving up overnight past yesterday's highs. Going to be opening near that 152. So overall, we are in between our zone of support, our levels of support, our moving averages, and our next zone above where the daily 200 sits. So for the market to continue up and get through that 40-20 and try to get up to its daily 200, we definitely need Apple to continue to play along and make its way up to its zone above and daily 200, right at around 155. If we have any dips, definitely want us to hold above 150, 151. If we start to lose that, then we're coming back to these levels of support. We do have a little 1 hour, 30-minute squeeze, sorry, right around that 150. So on any dips, we'll want to see us hold up there and continue this journey up to our key levels above this week's high and that daily 200. AMD. AMD had this big run up from Thursday, Friday into Monday, Tuesday, and pulled back to the daily 8. Got a great bounce there yesterday, right at 70, and made its way back up, arriving at this 75 and a quarter pre-market. If it can keep trucking to the upside, I have way too many levels here that I probably need to thin out to get to the important ones, but overall, needs to take out the 77, 78 to get its butt on up to 80. But if we start to reject this 75 and a quarter and have a pullback, definitely want to see it hold up above the 72.3 at the least. That is a little bit of a dramatic pullback. It could easily hold up at the 74 where it consolidated most of the day and bounced. So look for a bounce there. If we do get a little dip on AMD with the goal of getting up to that 77, 78, we start to give out that 74, coming back to that 72. And should we give that out, coming back to 70? Amazon. Amazon, a little bit of a weaker name yesterday, but overall it's holding its daily moving averages. So for upside today, would really love Amazon to play ball and hold these daily moving averages and start to make its way back up to 100. So if we can hold, let's see, where is this? Right at about 95 is the daily 15. So on any dips, want to see us hold 95. If we start to lose 94, yesterday's lows, probably coming back to this 91. But if we can hold up 94, 95, looking to get back above 97 and try to fight its way back to 100, where that daily 21 will be sitting. BA. After this big old run up, came right back to our key level, hit it yesterday at that 169 and caught a bounce. Now gapping up, so still remaining strong. If we can, let's see, if we have a little dip, want to see us hold that daily 8 at about 171 in this key level of 170 and continue to the upside. Need to get through 175 on the journey back to 178 at the top of the squeezes, 180 near this week's high on BA. Cat. Oh, and in the chat on YouTube, I'm seeing Johnny might be joining the service today. That's awesome to hear, sir. Welcome to the family. We'll see it in the room, definitely. Cat, after this big push up, took a break and came back to our key level right here around 228 Also tapped this daily Keltner near 225, 226. Talked about this week that we could have a pullback to 225 and a bounce to try to continue right back up. Looking nice and strong this morning. On any dips, want to see it hold that 230, 228 key levels and try to continue this journey up higher, back to 235 and back to 240. If we start to give out that 230, 228, then we're coming back to that 225. And should that give out the daily 21 down near that 220, but everything looking decent for a bounce and another rally for a day or two. Coin. Coin got back down to this 46. Talked about this in prep yesterday. If we can hold that 46, could see a nice bounce back to 50. We got some of that yesterday. We are back below this trend line. So just like I said on Friday, we could see a breakout on coin through this trend line, which I got rid of. We're kind of, back under this trend line, so we could see another breakout in coin again. On any dips, want to see us hold 46, and if we can start to get through 50, looking to get up to the daily 8 near 52.5. And if she can have another strong Friday, right back up to where she got to on Friday at this 55.5, the daily 21 is going to be stepping down very close to that. So let's just see. Maybe coin has another strong Friday. And we've got daily moving averages right at our key levels above. Google. Google's been remaining very strong. When the market pulled back, Google's still staying up above this 96.5, 97 all week. So let's see if it's gearing up to get through this 100 and get back to 101, 103. Those are the next key targets above. On any dips, definitely want to see us hold 97 in the bottom of our squeeze. Should that start to give out, then it's back to 95, 96 for the daily 21, daily 8 have caught up to, and where we consolidated Friday and Monday. But we've done a good job holding up this range all week, waiting for the market. So let's see if she can try to lead with the rest of tech. GS. Came back to that daily 8, and Keltner right around 375 caught a bounce yesterday. At the very least on GS, just want to see it stay in its squeeze and not dive back down to the bottom and to the daily 8. So as long as we can hold above this 380, looking for it to get back to 385, 390. If it's going to push to the upside, if we start to give out 380, then it's back to that 375, or at least the bottom of the squeeze. I'm just going to skip on to Meta. Meta did a good job holding the daily 8 and 21. That 21 sitting right at around 111.5, daily 8 at 110. So as long as we can hold those on any dips, looking to get through this 113, back above 115, get back to 118, 120, and big key target to the upside at 123, which sits near that second Keltner. And the daily 20 or the daily 50 sits up near 127. Obviously, that would be quite a hard push. Only has 6 ATR, close around 111 and a half. So just getting back to the highs is pretty much an ATR. But let's see if Meta can also add to the upside today and try to get back to this week's highs. Microsoft was definitely a leader yesterday with Apple. Held all week above 240, 241. Got open below them yesterday. Didn't even need to give that daily 21 a tap. Held that squeeze bottom and took right back off above 240, 241. Now opening near yesterday's highs. If it can continue to the upside, looking to get back to 245 and 250, kind of this week's high. Big key level above that, 255 at the top of this daily squeeze. She has about, I'll call it 8 in the tank. So yeah, she could get back to 250 on a normal ATR move today. Netflix. Bounced at that 290 yesterday, that daily 8. And pretty much made it up to 300 before pulling back. And going to be opening right near 300. So on any dips, looking to hold kind of where we bounced late in the day. At the worst, that daily 8, around 291, 293. And if we can get through 300, it'd be the goal to try to get back to this 307, 310, 314 where we topped out. Let's see, got 14 in the tank. Yeah, getting back to 310 is about an ATR move. So we could get back to this week's highs. On Netflix, overall goal, it's filling the gap back to 333. Maybe just talking like where it could go by Wednesday of next week. That 333, 340. If we see that continuation of this move, stepping in after testing these daily moving averages, right? NVIDIA. NVIDIA with the wedge coming into open. On any dips, definitely want to see it hold that 155. Kind of where it was bouncing yesterday and came back to at that daily 8 at the bottom of these squeezes. And if we can get through 160, looking to get back to 162.5, yesterday's highs, 165 at the top of the squeeze, and if it can keep pushing back to 170. Ultimately today or next week, if it starts to give out this 155 in the bottom of the squeeze, coming back to this 147.3, where the daily 21 will be kind of catching up to today. QQQ. QQQ almost made it down to that 280. Did a great job of just taking right off and holding above that daily 8. We saw ES popped and came back before taking off. QQQ got up above the daily 8 and then held it before taking off higher. Now going to be opening well above yesterday's high, near yesterday's pre-market highs. On any dips, definitely want to see it hold 285 and yesterday's highs near 286. to continue this journey to try to get back up to 289 at the top of the squeeze, 290, and push up to about 293 at the top of the 4-hour squeeze, kind of near this week's highs, and back at this 2-day squeeze top. SPX. So SPX got back to pretty much filling the gap yesterday. Now going to be having a gap up. So, on any dip, want to see us hold the gap, which we closed at around 39.46. Looks like we're gapping up about almost 40 points. So we'll be near this 39.80. So if we reject to come back to fill the gap, want to see us hold the gap and yesterday's highs near 39.50, 39.60. And then it's a goal to keep trucking up to 4,000, 40.20 at the top of this squeeze. And we do have that daily 200 up around 40.70. If we start to lose that 50.60, then likely coming back to that daily 8 near 39.25. SPY. So SPY on any dips today, would love to see it hold 395, 395.8. Kind of our zone of support that we need to hold to bounce and continue on this journey higher, with the goal of getting through this 398 where this 2-hour squeeze sits, and then back up to this 400, 402 where the 4-hour squeeze sits. Our daily 200 still sits pretty far up. Let's see, SPY ATR of about 8. Yeah, kind of one ATR gets us to 402. We'd need a stronger than one ATR day to try to get up there, but good target going into next week if this rally can continue today and get back above 400. If we start to lose that 395, then we're just going to fall back into yesterday's range and go test the bottom of this 4-hour squeeze. Tesla. Old Tesla. I know we all love to trade Tesla, but she's definitely been getting beat up lately, right? And she's staged some nice bounces, but hasn't even made it back to the mean. The only reason I point all this out is there have been other names that are doing well and leading, like Apple, Microsoft, chips, Google. There's plenty of other names in tech trying to lead to the upside. Sometimes it's okay to take a break on Tesla, especially when she's kind of taking a break on making any decent moves. But for today, we're opening at 185, right in between our level of support at 180 and what has been resistance at 190. Hold on one second. There we go. So on any dips, want to see us hold 182, 180 with the goal of getting through this 185 up to this 190. And the next target getting up to 200. Got about 12 in the tank. So 195 is kind of a full ATR move, which just gets us back to or near these recent highs, right? 195, 200, kind of where we topped out. So just saying, don't maybe expect a ton out of Tesla I'm sure now that I say that, she'll make some crazy move up to 200 today. But just saying, other names have been doing well and leading. Don't just stare at Tesla as it's kind of been doing nothing and slowly grinding. But would love to see Tesla get back above 190. It would lend to the upside in the rally. UVXY. Oh, UVXY yesterday got down to 9, caught a little bounce, but then kept going under 9 yesterday, even kind of rejecting it. End of day. So for this rally to continue, we'd like to see UVXY stay under 9 today, right? If we do have a little pullback to fill the gap, want to see UVXY reject 9 and continue this journey lower, but below 8.5 and get back to 8. Not necessarily saying we do that today. But if we're going to see some downside, we're definitely going to see UVX come back up to 9, and if we can't hold the gap and fall back into yesterday's range, we'll see UVXY get back above 9 and try to make its way up to the daily 8 at 9.3 and the daily 15 at 9.5 at the top of this 4-hour squeeze. And VIX. VIX yesterday was a great sign when it gave out this 24.5 early, definitely lent to the upside. And on the pullback that we had, barely even popped up. Now we can see it's gapping right back down to this 23.3 and the bottom of this 2-hour squeeze. So, if we're going to see a pullback and gap fill, we'll likely see VIX hold above this 223 to 23.3, this 23.5, and see VIX come back to fill the gap, getting up near this 24. And if we get above 24 and head back to 24.5, then we'll see more than just a gap fill and fall back into yesterday's range. But if we can stay below 24, maybe even this 23.8, and start to get below 23.3, back to 23, and then down to 22.5 at the bottom of the 4-hour squeeze, we can see some continuation. So for us to get a nice move up today, we definitely need to see VIX get through this 2-hour squeeze and keep dropping. But with the squeezes nice and thick like this, it could mean that VIX is going to have a little bounce and kind of be muted, or at least some sideways action, even if we do try to grind higher. But that's it overall. Let's see if we can continue this move up and rally today and into next week, or if we're just going to hold the range of this week and close out OPEX basically where we started the week. Before I leave you, we'll take a quick look at our MA chart. These are all the stacked MAs that I'm always talking about, the 45 MAs from all time frames. We got below that 4-hour, but then got back above it and held it yesterday. That 4-hour now sitting back at 39.41. And the rest of our moving averages kind of starting around this 39.61. So just saying, wouldn't be surprised if we start to run into this 39.96, 4,000, take a break back to test these moving averages. As long as we can hold them, we can continue up. But if we start to lose them, then we're back being stuck in them, right? For the last few days, we have been stuck in them and holding them, right? So, don't be shocked if we do make a dip back to here to test yesterday's highs to somewhat fill the gap or completely fill the gap. before continuing this journey higher. But market can always be always do what it wants to do. It could just hold that 39.80, kind of only giving us a half gap, and then keep going. So good luck today, everybody. We'll see you in the chat. And it's a Friday, we always like to say size down, have fun, don't make or break your week on a Friday. If you're down on the week, don't try to make it all back in one day. Every Friday, I usually size down. I'm taking less contracts. I'm just kind of playing with profits, right? We've had a good week. Although it's been OPEX week, we've had some good opportunities, some good drops and pops. Let's hope that they give us some good moves today. But let's also be aware it's an OPEX week. They've got us right back between the key levels that started the week. And we could just stay in between those levels today. But good luck, everybody, and we'll see you in the room.